Right, welcome back to the 12th Man, the regular Thursday night show on at 7:30pm every week. Still struggling to get those words out. If you're unfamiliar with the format of the show, we look at all the latest Ipswich Town news in the look ahead to the weekend's fixture. Tonight we're joined by the 12th Man himself, Mark Beck, and Danny Sparks. How are you doing, boys? Good?
Good, thank you, mate.
Good, yeah,
back.
Despite the results, yeah.
Despite the results, yeah.
We're here at our fourth Devon Inn venue of the season at the Ship in Levington, Suffolk. Opened after sustaining significant fire damage last year, so make sure you get down here. Make sure you download the Devon Inn's app for all the latest offers on food and drink, and just come down. It's a lovely location. I mean, I haven't been down here, and I've lived this end of town for a long time, but it's good. Yeah, nice place. Let's start with the headlines, boys, and we've got a lot of them to get through tonight. So we'll start with ones that aren't too well linked. So the first one of which is Billy Key, who's retired from football with personal issues. Obviously, he hasn't gone into those personal issues, but we know what they're about, there and thereabouts. But highlighted earlier in the season by one of our own fans, creating a banner to support his struggles off the pitch. He is now retired from football. Sad state of affairs, really, isn't it, Mark? Because he was a prolific goal scorer at League 2, League 1 level.
You know, every club has their legends, and he'll probably go down. And Acton Stanley is one of the legends. You know, he got them, to where they are today. Really, to a level they probably didn't expect to get to this quickly. But fair credit to him. He fired the goals in the last 2 seasons, and they reaped the rewards. Really, but sad state of affairs. You never want to see, especially when it's. If it's a really bad injury to a player, or sadly, what's coming commonplace is personal issues. It's sad to think that he's had to retire when he's probably still got a lot more to offer, unfortunately.
Yeah, definitely. I know he's not been on social media since he took a break from football, but it's a shame. Obviously, famously scoring that goal against Ipswich Town in the FA Cup last season, melted our hearts on BBC. But in terms of any striker. When you score goals, you're going to be loved by the fans, aren't you?
Every supporter loves a good striker. It's prolific. They become legends, don't they? You sort of think of ones in the past for us: David Johnson, Marcus Stewart, Darren Bent, Sheffy Kuki. They live on, don't they?
Yeah, they do.
But Tamis, yeah. Connor Washington, whatever his name was.
Colin Quaynor,
yeah. I feel for him. I really do, as support of men's mental health. He's really been through it, and I wish him all the best.
Yeah, definitely. All the best, mate, and I hope you get the resolution that you deserve. Going forward, obviously Bartosz Bielkowski has now joined Millwall for an undisclosed fee, believed to be around £900,000, with £300,000 up front, as I'm led to believe. 10% of this fee is payable to the parent club, Notts County. And we know that they're getting 30,000, so the numbers add up. Who obviously we obtained his services from. Bart made 170 league appearances for the Blues since joining the club in July 2014, and won 3 Player of the Year accolades. Boys, I'll come to Danny first on this one, because I know, Mark, you've got a view on this one. But Danny, any memories of Bart, and are you happy with the move?
Memories. He's just brilliant shot stopper. Remind me of Kelvin Davis in a lot of respects, and there's a lot of great memories of the move. I think it is for all parties concerned. We could have hung on to the summer, and you're not going to guarantee you're going to get a certain fee.
Yeah,
I've heard it's more about 500,000 to 600,000 rather than 900,000, and that's going to be over in instalments. So that's why Paul out came out and sort of said, well, we're not going to see any. Well, yeah, because we're not getting all up front. It's going to be over 4 years, probably something ridiculous like that. Yeah. So, I think it's for everyone concerned. It's the right move. Yeah,
you're right there. Millwall obviously famously don't buy that many players and don't spend a lot of money. So you're right. I wouldn't expect it all in one lump sum. Mark, we'll come on to what you think in a minute. But for me, Bart, he was a quality shot stopper, like you say, but he always had an error in him. And I think it would always live in my memory as one of those keepers you couldn't rely on, in my opinion. I think I look back at Norwich, when we went to Norwich and Chamberlain scored in the 90th minute. In that entire game, Bart kept us in the game. He absolutely kept us in a hell of a performance. And then beyond the final minute, he somehow gives a goal away, like coming out off his line for the most ridiculous ball, and just being, unprepared for the ball coming in. And obviously we can see it to Norwich in the 93rd. I think it was closer, wasn't it? Yeah. And that will always stick in my mind. There's been plenty of occasions where he's been piss poor, and to be honest, start of last season, first 10 games, he was absolutely diabolical, and he's probably put us where we deserve to be. And I think that, with the good appearances, you've got to put him against the bad. And to be honest, I think as much as he was a good keeper, he always had an error in him. Yeah. And that's my point of view. What's yours, mate?
I'm a bit pissed off how I've handled this, and I think we alluded to it a couple of weeks ago when we know we had the option where I don't think we threatened the recall at any point.
No.
It was very much, you've got our player, you look on after him. There's teams who've lost goalkeepers in the division. One that springs to mind is Middlesbrough. They've lost Darren Randolph, he's gone.
Yeah.
Gone to the Premier League. Club desperate for a keeper. Bart is banging form, and we sort of, like I said, I think we had the win in hand, and we folded it before we even got to January. I think the way it seems, we've dealt with this so naively. The transfer window didn't start in January. You can start your business way before then.
Yeah.
We had all the cards and we just folded them. As for the deal, until last night's move came out, I was all for it. He ain't playing for us. I was actually quite happy we managed to actually still rectify a deal, because I thought Mill would have held on to the summer, and I thought that 900k potentially could make us millions if we get it gets that one player and it gets us back up. But considering we're not getting anything for it, don't see the point really.
No, you're right, and I think you're right there. Do you think we see the colour of money and just bite at the first offer?
I just think we've panicked now. We realised that we probably could have been a bit smarter about it, and then Mill will have. I think they've sort of given us a lifeline, and we've just bit it at the first. We haven't even negotiated it. Probably we've just gone, all right, yeah, get rid of him.
That's right. We seem to be doing dodgy dealings half the time. We don't seem to think about things. We seem to sell players on the cheap. I'd hate that to be Wolverhampton or Downs in the future.
Don't. The last 10 years, you sort of think, since the Evans era, we have sold players so on the cheap, and they've gone on to then do extraordinary things, or gone on to get massive moves. Sort of think of Webster, for instance. We just, I think, like you said, you see the colour of the green, and we just seem to snap their hands off. And I don't know if it's because we're in the League One position that we don't feel we can. We're desperate for the money. Going back to Flynn and Luke, we can't sell them on the cheap. There would be an absolute uprising. Quite frankly,
and it all rests on this season. I hate to say it, rests on this season. We can get that. We can keep them to the summer quite easily. I'm not going to sweat over it, but they'll be gone in the summer if we don't go up. That's my. Anyway. You think they'll be gone anyway, despite getting promoted?
They're too good. You look at Luton. They've lost. I always bring them up. They lost James Justin and Jack Stacey as soon as they went up. They were gone to the Premier League. Both of them playing quite a lot for two respectable Premier League sides in Bournemouth and Leicester. And there's no reason, Wolverhampton's been linked with Sheffield United, funnily enough, since we've been playing this 5-2-1-2 formation, which is very similar to what Sheffield United play. Sheffield United are more than likely, unless a catastrophic collapse, are going to stay up in the Premier League and do really well. They're going to be looking for that next player. In Downs, I think, there's been many midfielders move from lower leagues up and then slowly sort of establish himself, and Flynn is more than good enough to do that with the right coach. So I think they'll be gone either way.
If we don't go up, expect to sell them on the cheap. That's my
God forbid. Let us know what you think about that one, guys. Leave your comments in the live chat. Obviously, you can just open that. If you look just below the screen there, you can see a live chat option. Open it up and leave your comments below. I would not like to see either of them go on the cheap, to be honest. I see about 20 million within them two easily. So I'd be disappointed if they went for any less. Let's go on to the next one anyway. Big news, massive news coming out of Ipswich Town this week. Huge news. Ipswich women have done the absolute unthinkable and made it through to the fifth round of the FA Cup. They've only gone and battered Huddersfield 4-1 on their own back garden, mate. They've destroyed them. 4-0 up at half-time. I mean, that's unheard of. Maddie Biggs has gone and scored more goals than Colin Quaynor has at the John Smith Stadium. It's just unheard of. Beating Huddersfield comfortably 4-1. The women went into the hat for the draw and were drawn against none other than the current cup holders, Manchester City, in what will be the Cup's 50th year. The tie will be played in Manchester on the 16th of February. Now, I have to apologise, guys, because I was supposed to be at the Huddersfield game, and we had access all areas in that one, and I just was not feeling well enough to go up there. I barely made it on Saturday. Mark will tell you it was down to the last hour, weren't it, really? Yeah. And Mark would have been your presenter on Saturday, and I know you wouldn't have liked that, so I made the effort to come down. But Sunday I was not feeling good, so I let the team down, but they certainly did not let me down. They'd gone out there and got a massive win. But the draw is massive for the club, massive for the girls, and really puts the team on the map. And obviously still the lowest ranked side in the competition. I mean, we're laughing. We're absolutely laughing as a club. I was speaking to Kieran Stanley, who obviously deals with the media side of it, and he said that the opportunities that have arisen from this already is just ridiculous. You've got Sky Sports sniffing around, BBC Sport want to come down. They're going to hold a press conference for Joe Sheehan just after Paul Lambert on the day before, obviously the Friday before the Sunday match. But hopefully they'll have us back for the City game, and I'm definitely going up there. But they've got to play against the likes of Jill Scott, Nikita Paris, Georgia Stanway, Steph Houghton, and then Karen Barty, obviously all England internationals. They'll be absolutely loving it. I mean, the women they've gone all the way. They've got the tie that they wanted, and this is exactly what they wanted at the start of the season.
Yeah, perfect. We've spent a lot of time with Joe and the team. When we've been down to the training ground, we've been down with them and been to the games. They're working so hard, and they're taking it. I think women's football still got that stereotype, that stigma, but it's really changing, and you can it's so professional down there. They're so desperate to get out of the league they're in, and this cup run is just amazing. I think they'll probably say themselves Sunday was probably, they thought if they could get anything out of that would be the dream. But to go up there and absolutely spank Huddersfield, it's just amazing, isn't it? You just can't really write. We're not used to cup magic, really. No. We had quite a few cup games this season, but it's just because we kept drawing, getting replays. But the girls done the club proud, and they
finally got a big draw, haven't we?
Yeah.
So.
And they, as much as they're the women's team, they represent as much as the men's team, and they're doing us proud and doing the badge proud. Yeah. So.
Well, when I first started my venture with IpswichFanzone, to be honest, one of the biggest sticklers for me was the women's football doesn't get enough coverage, and it's certainly been something that I've been interested in ever since we started. So to get this simultaneously to go with what we're doing, what we're trying to do behind the scenes, and get more people interested, is an absolute godsend. And to be honest, mate, it must have got your fancy, because obviously I know you haven't been down to the women's game this season, but
no, I went December with Whitby and played Cambridge. Yeah. Smashed them 7-0 or something like that, and really, real close game. But we had a right laugh with the keeper, their keeper. We had a really good laugh. Yeah,
Whitby's notorious for that. He made the Norwich keeper cry. I had.
This one, she was hilarious. Yeah. Actually, the quality was, from our point of view, was really good. Yeah. They really deserve it. It's nice that we've got a team that get up for a big game and actually do the job.
Yeah, it's good. And the men versus women video that we did last summer, and prior to meeting both of you, actually, both of yourselves, but we've done a men versus women video last season, and it's still the record amount of views I've had on any video, and it gets watched 100 times a day. Wow. And it's just ridiculous. There is an audience out there, and Ipswich women have definitely got an audience. So I'm hoping this one, pans out really well. Let's get it on BBC Sport. Come on, BBC, if you're watching tonight, make sure this one's on for all the fans at home. But I want to see as many people as possible make the trip up to Manchester. They've got coaches on. That's going to be sold out, in my opinion. Probably even 2, 3 coaches. I'll be surprised if there isn't that many going to this one. But yeah, really brilliant news for them. And it's a bit more of a comical storyline. Former Blue Christoph Berra was said to be a target of League 2 Salford City money bags since being stripped of his captaincy at his boyhood club Hearts and frozen out of the first team. It looks likely that he's going to reject the move. So what's he going to do? Sit on his arse for the rest of his career?
I don't know. I honestly don't know what he's going to do. It's a bit of a strange situation, especially a captain. I think they've had Stendhal come in. Probably ripped the club a new one, really. A bit like Paul Hurst did with us a little bit. Just a complete change of guard, and obviously Barry's the one who's bear the brunt. Can't blame him for not wanting to go for Salford. I wouldn't really want to go there. He's good enough to get a League One move at least.
Yeah.
Do I want him back? Sadly not.
No. He's going for. They're going for another playoff push, I think, this season with some of the signings they've made, aren't it? Your guy up front, what was his name?
Tom Elliott.
Yeah.
Magic Johnson.
Yeah.
If anyone's a fan of the alternative Millwall commentary, you know who that is. But
Magic Johnson,
he was a good player. I thought he could have easily come into us.
It seems a lot of players are taking the easy route to go and join Salford. You know, money may not be as good as Championship.
There's a lad, I remember the Peterborough chairman's obviously always infamous. I swear they had a player who dropped down division just purely for money. It was Danny Lloyd or someone like that.
Richie Towell left. Was it Redden? He was at
Brighton or somewhere.
Brighton it was one.
Rooney as well.
Yeah, Rooney as well.
Yeah.
Wilbraham was there, weren't he, as well at some point? Or am I dreaming that? Probably dreaming that. But it does seem to interest a lot of players. And I can't blame them, to be honest. All eyes are on Salford. Everyone wants to watch them. The money must be good, but League Two, have a bit of a laugh, get the club promoted. I mean, in my opinion, they're coming up too quick, and they're not going to be prepared for the likes of League One. I'd say this now. They'll probably have the money for it though. So we'll see next season. Hopefully, we won't have to play it. Let's backtrack, boys, and let's have a look at the action from the weekend, and then on to Tuesday night. So weekend started really well. 1-0 victory over Lincoln. Wolfenden nets his first goal. James Wilson finally gets the praise he deserves at the back and returns to the top of the table. Quality weekend. I think everyone was buzzing after that.
I said it on Saturday. As much as only 1-0, that is by far and away the best we've played all season for 90 minutes. Completely dominated the game, as much as Michael Appleton doesn't seem to think so. But what's he know? They lost.
That's the saltiest comment I think I've seen this season.
Yeah, there's been a few in there. Sam Ricketts is another one. He's been a bit salty as well. He's a bit deluded, I think, bless him. But a really good performance from top to bottom. To a man, everyone fought, and we deserved to probably be more than 1-0 ahead in that game. Lincoln were very much playing, off the shoulder, the last man on the counter. But everyone, great performance. I can't pick a bad performance, or really, maybe we could have taken a chance. But to be fair, I'm not going to criticise the boys because it was a great performance.
I can pick out a man of the match. I think everyone's playing that well. But Danny, did you watch this one?
Wasn't able to go, unfortunately. Listened to it on the radio, and even the radio were really impressed. Sort of saying
something come from Brennan Willie.
No, there was a really professional performance, and from the sounds of it, played them off the park.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, we couldn't really say anything after the match because we just played so well.
We needed to exercise the Lincoln Demons, really, and a better scoreline would have been nice. But look, clean sheet. Great.
Boogie boys, weren't they? So I'm glad we got the result in the end. Let's move on to Tuesday. Unfortunately, we can't talk any more about Saturday. It was perfect. But let's just go to Tuesday. Yesterday night. Obviously, this has been filmed on a Wednesday for a Thursday. Yesterday night, we were in sunny Rotherham. Bitterly cold it was. Absolutely freezing. Wind, rain, you name it. It was there. The only thing that didn't show up was a game plan, because we did not show up at all yesterday night. And 963 soldiers went up there last night and got at, I think it was 963 or 936.
Something like that.
Went up there last night and there was nothing from the team. Absolutely nothing. We didn't put up any kind of fight. Some labelled it woeful, embarrassing. I'm going to go with shocking, because that was just diabolical. We were absolutely 100% played off the park. I haven't seen a team play that well all season, and I think it had shades of when we lost to them at home. They came out second half and they were doing exactly the same job they did last time. Went 1-0 up, half time. They came out again, looked to score another goal. Christ, they were all over us. Absolutely battered us. We had one opportunity, if you want to call it an opportunity, which fell to Norwood, and somehow we hooked the ball in from the byline and it hit the post. I mean, if that had gone in, that wouldn't have been fair on Rotherham. And they would have been up in arms. But spoke to a few Rotherham fans before the game, and if you have watched the Matchday vlog, or if you haven't, make sure you watch it. But they were very confident they were going to win this game. Absolutely confident they were going to win this game. But before we go into anything else here, I'll pick on two players, Keane and Jackson, the men that should have been doing the work to get the ball back, because Rotherham were doing a little hoof ball up. They were picking out the men perfectly. I'm not going to say anything bad about their hoof ball, but Jackson was offside something like 10 or 11 times in the first half. Absolutely diabolical. And Keane was non-existent. When he's on the pitch to be a bully boy, he got bullied off. I mean, where do we go from that, Danny? We'll start with you, mate.
Well, we were bullied all over the park. Wasn't at the front too. I mean, they spent the entire first half and most of the second half offsides. And the problem was also Rotherham played a really high line, and we played into their hands. They wanted us to play the long ball, try and match them and things like that. You can't match Rotherham at their own game. No. They do it because they're good at it. We played completely into their hands. And I think I read somewhere like Caden was sort of saying that wasn't part of the game plan. And he couldn't get onto the balls because a lot of them are more clearances than long balls. It was poor all the way through. It's one of the worst performances I've seen this season.
I'd like to know what the game plan was, mate, to be fair.
Apparently Lambert said that wasn't the game plan. Our game plan was to play our normal brand of football.
But we weren't going to be able to do that there. We've got to admit, they are the best side in the league, in my opinion. They're the only team that I've seen consistently play that well. They were really good, to be fair to you. And they did outplay us, but we didn't turn up to play at all. And we didn't have a shot on target until the 79th minute, and that was Caden Jackson powder puff shot. It was atrocious. I think when Sears and especially Norwood came on, I think we sort of tried to go for more 4-4-2. We looked better. We did look better. For a spell. And
it was like 15-minute spell. Where the last 10 minutes, it would have been a travesty if we got anything from that game on Rotherham. But the last 10 minutes was quite entertaining. And we gave as good as we got a little bit, but it was bad. Really bad. I mean, bad is the only way we can sum it up. But I'll take my hat off to Rotherham because it wasn't only their ability to get the ball up the pitch, take shots, be all over us. Their closing down was unbelievable. They were like us, like a fly to shit, mate. They were all over us. And the problem that bothers me, right? I was furious with the performance, and it doesn't look a shade in touch with the persona we need to lift the title. Now, I'm a bit pessimistic about the rest of the season now, because we don't seem to beat these teams. Between the top 2 and 6, we're not doing anything. And the only way I could describe it is that we have absolutely no fucking backbone at all. None at all. No. Like, to quote you, Mark, at Lincoln, the backbone of a breadstick.
Yeah, I think I've seen a lot of people on the socials being a little bit down now, but we've had a really good month, and I'll argue that of anyone. We've had a really good month, just what we needed, obviously, after the dreadful run we've been on. And I'm still confident. I think we're just letting one game card of judgment, as much as from what you've told me. I didn't watch the game, being the plastic that I am. But a wise man once said, life's like a roller coaster, you just got to ride it. Or was that Ronan Keating? I don't know. I said it last week, take every game on face value. That game's in the past, not what we can do about it now. Got an opportunity to make it right. If you're going to lose one game, let it be that one. Yeah, Rotherham, very good side, work hard, and obviously they're showed against us. I think Lambert was in a little bit of a tough spot, really, because if he'd have changed the team, we'd still lost. So go, what have you changed the team for? Exactly. We'll see. I really honestly hope we don't change the formation, because I really like it. Really like what we've been doing the last few weeks. But like I said, just don't let one game cloud of judgment. As awful as it was, we're always going to lose 1-0 at Rotherham, weren't we? We've done it. What's the 4th time we've done it now? We lost for 1-0 to Rotherham, so it's no surprise really. Big opportunity on Saturday to pick ourselves up, really. Yeah, and moving on to Peterborough, you're absolutely right there, Mark. You've brought us back down to earth. We have only lost once in the last 6, is it now? And let it be Rotherham. But please, if there's a performance stored away in them this season, it's got to be against these lot. I can't stand them. No. I don't think anyone can. No. After falling out of the top 6, they've won 3 on the bounce, beating Wycombe, Rotherham,
Wickham and Rotherham, something we failed to do, and took another win at Accrington last night. Peterborough are looking very good at the moment, and look like another team who are going for automatic. I mean, they're just behind us. I think it's 1 or 2 points,
something like that.
And they've played one more game than us, so they're a bit shy. But we need to win this one on Saturday. Yeah. Let's go into a bit of the detail. Obviously, Sammy Smodic, the deal that was famously done and then undone, has been very much a vocal point for them in the last 3 games, scoring 1 in each of the last 2. Marcus Maddison is currently frozen out after various moves have fallen through. Ivan Toney now has 18 goals, doesn't look like he's going anywhere, and that's without mentioning Isa, who sits on 13 goals this season. They are dangerous and a real threat to our promotion credentials. My first question to you boys is, have Town got enough in their locker to beat Peterborough on Saturday? First question.
Yes, I think we do. Going off the Lincoln game, I think we definitely do. I think that the amount of times we've said we've got to make a statement against the teams around us. Now is as good as any, because it's very well, we've played 10, drawn 7, lost 3 against the teams around us, or in the top 8 or something like that. Now is the time to do it. It really is. And we then got a really hard trip against Sunderland, not long after. Yeah. So we have got it. I'll be interested to see. I think he'll stick to the same formation, but I do wonder if he'll bring Norwood in. Yeah. Personally, because he looked sharp when he came on last night, and he wasn't doing his mouthing off or anything like that I could see. He
did have 1 or 2.
Oh, did he?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't. The TV didn't show that, but he looked sharp when he came on, and I would.
And that brings me nicely on to our second question. That's obviously, does Lambert need to make any changes to personnel formation to meet the requirements of this game on Saturday?
Perhaps personnel, but you can go back through all these 12th man and matchday vlogs. I've always said we need a system. We've got that system now. It's this 5-2-1-2. Playing so well, we look like prime Sheffield United at times. But
I think you. I said this to Tom last night. I think you're wrong there, mate. I think we're not looking prime at all.
I think we are sometimes. Saturday, I'll argue that with Saturday. Other times we've looked really good in this formation. Yeah. It's all about having a system, and as much as Lambert says it's about players, he's right to an extent, but you have to have a system to fall back on. Yeah. This is where you change players, and it's just to exploit the weaknesses of your opposition. Yeah. Norwood is a definite starter for me. Felt for Wilking because I thought he had a really good game on Saturday. Obviously didn't do the business last night. But Norwood's hungry. Maybe that's what you need, a little bit of. Maybe not feeling like he's always the top dog. Maybe knocking down a few pegs, and maybe that'll make him hungry to prove us wrong. Yeah,
you're right. Question 3 going into this one, mate, is why can't we be a top 6 side? And on that form alone, do we deserve to be anywhere near the top 2, top 6?
To answer your last question, no, because if you can't beat the teams around you, then you don't, so in my opinion, don't deserve to go up automatically. Simple as that. What's your first question again?
Why can't we beat?
Why can't we? I don't know. You can argue, teams up their game for us. Yeah. Maybe it's that. You've seen how when teams come down here and they've got a result, how much it means to them. Mm. Maybe it is that, or it's a mental thing in our squad. Yeah. Last night, you would never have known that was a top two clash. No. Not in any way, shape or form. One team did, the other didn't. We looked like a mid-table team last night.
Yeah, I think mid-table at best. I would say lower than mid-table, mate. Relegation, because we were that bad. We just didn't come up with any goods at all, and that for me is a big dampener, and it puts me in the kind of mindset. And this is question 4. It just seems to be a kind of shadow over this season that we can't seem to kick on and beat anyone, or we seem to get on these run of games, but then it's pacified by a silly draw. Yeah. You get a win and then you're on a draw, and then you're on a win and then a draw. If you look back earlier in that winless run where we drew consecutive games, it's poor. Why are we not moving on from that? Are we good enough? Are we not good enough? That's my opinion. I just don't know the answer. I don't think we're ready for the Championship. Personally, I don't think we're ready for the Championship. We need to be promoted as a side. We need to get up, absolutely desperately. If we don't get promoted, it wouldn't be such a bad thing in terms of preparation to gain promotion in the future. But we don't do it this year. I don't think we'll do it at all.
I think it's been a funny old season. Had such a stop-start spell at the start with so many breaks. But going back to what you're saying before, what is a top six side in League One? Because it's such a tight division. Like I said last week, teams can be fucking amazing or equally shit from week to week. Yeah. And last night we were shit, proper shit. But what's refreshing for me is we had those really bad runs before Christmas, the winter spell, where Lambert seemed in denial about that we weren't playing very well, where we're still having these issues where we weren't having shots until 60, 70 minutes. Last night he knew he wasn't happy, and he knew that was a poor performance, and he came out and addressed that. And I think there's been a lot we've worked on going into New Year, New Pool, I think it is for 2020. But what we've gone into seems to be working, and I think we'll win on Saturday.
Do you think this will be a showcase game then, in that sense that look, we've got to this point in the season, we've now gone and lost that game last night, not fucking good enough, boys. No. I need to see a performance from you on Saturday.
Something that would help, Bristol City, just put a bid in for Tony, will you? Sort that out. But I think there's maybe they had lost a little bit of connection with each other, sort of the management and the players, and maybe even the players between themselves. Maybe now this will sort of kick them on again, and a win against Peterborough, who all love to beat. That would be a great start to this, and then go up to Sunderland, make Phil Parkinson cry again. That'd be nice as well.
That will give them the confidence to push on. I think a win against Peterborough this Saturday would give them a huge amount of confidence to beat anybody in the remaining fixtures. And let's be frank, there's only 16 games left, is it? Now? Yeah. I mean, there's not many games, boys. We're coming quickly to the end of the season. It's flown by this season. Let's say that, but wouldn't it be nice to go up after all this? I mean, it's been a tiresome season, hasn't it?
For what we've been through the last few years as a club, relegation was a huge blow for a club of our size. Yeah, it would be nice to go up. If you go up, you deserve to go up. Simple as that. You've earned it if you've gone up, be it through the playoffs or whatever. You've earned it. Going back, we do need to go up for lots of reasons. Financially is probably the main thing, really. I think if you don't go up, look, how many years does it take Leeds to get out of League One? Sheffield United
was 5-6 years. Leeds was a good 3 or 4 years, I think it was.
There is a danger that happens.
There's teams who never come back. Bradford have been out.
Bradford
are a Premier League team. They've never come back.
No,
they're still out of it. Coventry, another one. They've dwindled, obviously. Problems off the field, but
Southampton were down there.
There's plenty of examples, and we don't want to be on that list. I think if we do go up, it'll be a fucking tough Championship season. I'd take 21st place right here, right now, next season.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right, and we can talk about this frankly now. We've got time. With promotion comes all these different problems, and our squad. This the worry for me is that it doesn't look good enough to win a League One game at the moment, and that's what frustrates me. We should be, for me, a side that gets promoted should be absolutely battering everyone every week. And I know people say you only need to win 1-0, and you could get through a season of 1-0s and get promoted, but you're certainly not going to win 1-0 in the Championship with that squad. And that's what worries me. We're going to have to spend so much money to compete. If we were to go up this season, yes, we're going to have to spend money, but we need to do it in a fashion where the basis of our team has got the kind of emphasis to push forward. Now, obviously, today it's come out and said Kane Jackson is looking to have a contract extension.
Lewis furious.
Good news in my opinion, because he's a different kind of player. He's got legs still. We can use him for a couple more seasons, and he might come good. Lad might come good. Could be in the next Ivan Toney next season. Do you know what I mean? But in other news, reports today suggesting Norris is unlikely to go back to Wolves and looking to revive his career with a permanent move. Town are interested. I mean, what do we make of that? Obviously, last night I think I defended Norris in saying that I thought he had a good game. Pulled off some great saves, and Danny, you'll back me up on that one.
Yeah.
And Whitby was quick to blame him for the goal. And to be honest, I don't think it was that fault.
No, looking at the goal again, Keane completely he just walked past him pretty much. I know he's threw him out the way, but it's about as much resistance as a bit of paper.
Yeah.
But we've been fairly critical of Norris on the channel, like myself and others.
Yeah.
But last month or so, he's probably been one of our better players.
Yeah.
Oxford springs to mind immediately. Really difficult conditions, and he was fantastic. Yeah. He seems to have learned a lot, and maybe that's what this move was about. To actually learn a bit more, sort of how to playing at a higher level, how he needs to sort of improve and go forward. But
because many people, like we said this before, I don't think many people realise he's only still a League Two keeper. He's not played higher than that. I mean, he's played one game in the Premier League. Come on, ride your luck a bit, don't you, with games like that? Look at Martin at West Ham. Yeah. He rode his luck there, and then after 3 or 4 games, he was getting absolutely smashed in the back of that net. He's played one championship game, I think, for Wolves when they got promoted. I mean, it's not enough. You need to be playing 20, 30 games to get your stead in any division. And as you go up, the players get better. I see this as a brilliant move. I was saying this to Peter in the car yesterday that I thought this was going to happen. And I think it would be a brilliant move to us because I do think he's as good, maybe even better than Thomas Oley in some senses.
I think since Wickham away, he's been consistent, and last night he kept us in the game. Yeah. When we didn't deserve to be in the game, he kept us in it. So it's hard to fault him, really. I think a lot of us are still quite pro Holy, but we haven't seen Holy for a long time to really judge.
Well, rumour has it he's been out of an injury that we weren't aware of.
I think the question is, I know hindsight's a wonderful thing, but if Norris does it at the end of the season, I think the biggest frustration for people is that Norris isn't our player, and we're sacrificing minutes of our own player for another club's player. If the end of the season becomes our player, who's the fool, really?
He's a big fool.
Yeah, I can't see it being too expensive either. I can see it being under $500,000 probably for him, and that's a good move,
I mean, we're in the market for a keeper now, aren't we?
Ultimately, we've got to have a backup keeper or a first choice keeper, whether that is Holy going to be the starter long term or Holy going to be the backup long term. That's the question. But we need a keeper. Norris is doing well enough at the minute, so why not? Why not, really?
And he's still young. He's only going to improve.
24, isn't he?
Yeah, but for someone that hasn't played a lot of first team football, really, at a decent level, I think he can only get better with experience. Yeah. Keepers don't really tend to come into their own until 30?
Yeah, 30s, you're right.
So we've got, if we do sign him, like we said earlier about sort of signing players that are going to serve us going forwards. Yeah. He's at that sort of good age, a bit like Caden's 25. Yeah. They could serve us for the next 3-4 years.
Yeah, completely right. What bothers me at the moment is there's still a lot of speculation. It happens all the time. Fans are unhappy because money hasn't been spent. When have we spent money in the last 5-6 years? It's not a new topic, is it?
No. And I sort of had a little bit of sort of looking at the squad myself. When the John Nolan links came out, that John Nolan may be off. Can't see it myself. It played last night, didn't he? It came on. I looked at our squad, and the biggest problem we had at one point is that we had so many players who they needed a run of games, but we didn't know really if they were good enough or not, or players we thought were good enough. And we had so many options to choose from, and we didn't really know what our best 11 was. Better to have a trimmed out squad. I look at the squad now. Defence is a little bit light with the formation that we're playing, but Scouse can fill in. We have got 2 players for each position. You look in midfield, I see Hughes. If Hughes is the starting holding sort of player, you've got Scouse to come in behind. Downs as your box to box, you've got Nolan to come in behind, or Dazelle. Yeah. And then in the number 10, you've got Judge and Bishop. Plenty of cover there. Yeah. There's players that I'm not even included. Danny Rowe, I don't know where the hell he comes in. When he comes back. Kane Vincent Young's got to come back. We've got 2 players at right back, 2 potentially 3 players at left back, 4 strikers. Okay, maybe we need another striker. I'd love to see another striker. If we were going to get someone, it'd be a big bastard striker. Like your new who or your Nikola Zigic, someone like that.
Peter Crouch,
yeah, just someone like just complete banter striker who's not particularly good at football, but can just win us a few games. But
like Dele Adebola,
yeah, just anyone like that, like just someone. No, I'll keep hammering home the fact I think this squad is good enough, and now with the way we're playing, last night aside, I think I still think confident we'll get up. We're still confident we will, and that all starts Saturday. Mark my words, we're going to win that game.
I think we ought to leave it there, really. We're finishing a bit early tonight, but I just want to thank everyone for watching. Make sure you watch our matchday vlog from Rotherham. Although it was a loss, we spoke to some really good fans about what was going on that night. Rotherham fans were especially confident with their views. But yeah, it's been a good month. January's been pretty decent. Record month in terms of the channel. We've had nearly 30,000 views, which is absolutely brilliant. We've just surpassed 275,000 channel views. Our followers are up. So just make sure you hit subscribe, follow all our social media. All the details are in the description. I just want to thank you for your support again, as I always do. But it's been a good one. And there was something I was going to mention, but I can't remember what it was now. Completely gone. Such an airhead. Anyway, make sure. Oh yeah, that's what it was. I hope we've covered your social media questions from Instagram. If you want to give any questions prior to filming, we do open up on Instagram. If you just look at our story prior to a Tuesday or Wednesday night, we'll always let out where we're filming and give you an option to send in questions. There are a few tonight about Will Norris and transfer policy, etc., which I think we covered tonight. But yeah, in future, if you want to submit a question to be talked about prior to the show, then we will do it. Just do it via Instagram. But in the meantime, I want to thank you boys for coming tonight. Cheers, Danny and Mark, for your journey as well after a long day at work. But until Saturday, the big one against Peterborough. Come on, you Blues.